Uh, Today I'm going to talk about how can online fitness brands get a lot more members. Right? This applies to online fitness brands only, or fitness brands that also sell products and memberships online. Right? And there's one additional extra criteria, which if you're not, then it's better that you don't watch this. This is not for people who are starting out. Even though people who are starting out can learn a lot of things from this, but that's not the intention of this video. The intention of this video is to help fitness entrepreneurs and fitness brands that have managed to create a small fan following or large, whatever it is, and really use them and leverage those fans to streamline and sharpen your marketing activities to like 10, 20x. So right now you're probably in this state. You're probably in a state where you know you have a great business or products or service, and then you know you have fans. They are the ones who validate this. And then also in most cases you have built a brand. So how do you verify do you have a brand? If you have a brand, you have loyal members. Right? People who are not with you because you're the cheapest, but rather people who are probably not even looking for competitors' businesses. So that's how you know you have a brand and some loyal members that are following you. So, what's the next step? How can you use your existing loyal fans? I'd like to call them fan customers. And how can you use your existing fan customers to sharpen your marketing activities is what I'm going to teach you. So most of the times when you build something that's great and you have a lot of good reviews and people are like, I don't understand. You guys should be a lot more famous, or maybe you guys should be world famous or something like that. And this is a recurring phase not only in fitness brands, across businesses all around the world, across people who provide services, consultants. Probably you are restaurants sometimes, where people tell you, wow, this is just so good. I'm sure you guys are supposed to be more successful than you are. And if you keep hearing this from your customers or people who have absolutely nothing to gain from saying that, usually, if your spouse or your younger sister says that to make you feel better, that doesn't really apply. But if there are people that you have just gained organically, customers who have just discovered you, who are seeing that, then most of the times it's very possible that you have a great brand, right? But at the same time, you could be asking the questions of, so if I have that, why am I not having more members? So the answer, of course, different businesses are different, so I can't guess all of that, but I'm going to talk from a few of my experiences about why this happens. So the biggest reason why this happens is because there is a huge, massive disconnect between why you think customers buy from you and why they actually buy from you. This is the number one reason. And it can be so hard to see this. It's almost like you don't want to see this, because sometimes seeing this takes a lot of effort into changing some of your fundamental beliefs about yourself, your business, and how your customers react to you and things like that. So it's not going to be a shift that happens in a one day. But this video could hopefully be a starting point for that. So why is there this massive disconnect between you and your customers who love you, who love your business? Right? Why is there? Because you don't really understand why they buy from you. You probably think you understand why they buy from you, and this is not something just I talk about. This is a recurring theme that has been happening for a long time for businesses, and businesses don't really realize this until they don't get the success or the growth that they expect, and they can clearly see something is wrong. Something doesn't add up. If I am as awesome, or my business is as awesome as what my customers say, why am I not growing? Why are there not more people? And why is that growth not happening? Why are none of my marketing activities working? Why is my landing pages not converting? Why aren't people converting on my website? So many problems like this can happen. So first thing is, how do you understand, how do you start to fix this problem, right? How do you understand why people buy from you? That's the number one question, right? So how do you understand why people buy from you? It can be done by the most obvious step of all, which is asking your customers, right? Now, you might roll your eyes and say, you think I haven't tried that? I'm pretty sure a lot of you have tried that. But the problem is, because you have this inherent bias in thinking that you understand your customers, the way you ask these questions are not right, which is very important why you should bring somebody who's a third party, who have absolutely no bias or vested interest in proving your beliefs right, and just be like, find out why my customers love me. In fact, you can almost be like, let them go full on, just interview your customers. And what happens here is that your customers, even if they talk, when they talk to you, if they're telling you reasons that are completely not true, let's say, or they are telling you what you might want to hear because you're too nice or something like that, uh, that will be avoided because they'll be completely a third party, and there's a certain level of relaxed attitude that comes up when you know that somebody is not completely invested in the business. And so even if you want to say something bad, you can probably tell it to their face. This is only if you're too nice or too polite and they think they don't want to be involved in a people don't want to say bad things to your face, right? So that's the thing. Now, what happens is, that's one. The second thing that happens is that uh, you, because of your biases in thinking that you understand your customers, the kind of questions that you probably asked have really tiny, minute things that you might not even think is wrong, right? But it could be already overloaded questions. It could be already biased questions that you are asking them, and they probably tell you the same thing, right? So, for example, let me give you an example of a fitness company, which is a gym, and these guys are positioned as premium personal training gym, right? So they have a bunch of personal trainers who do really, really small group classes from 1 to 4 members maximum. So they don't do anything more than that, and that's what they are known for. They are slightly higher in the market range. And to add on top of this, they have 5-star ratings all through. They don't have a single non 5-star rating. This is amazing, because that shows how good they are at attracting the right customers and keeping them happy. But in spite of all of that, if you look at their marketing pages, if you look at their website, all they're trying to sell is lose fat, gain lean muscle, become fit. So what's wrong with that? Of course, that's what the customers want, right? That's what the CEO probably tells me. But what's wrong with that is that you are doing something that everybody is doing. So every guy who is running a gym, selling a $9 ebook, probably selling video fitness courses, every yoga person, every bikini fitness person, every sports training person, everybody is probably selling the same thing. Lose fat and gain lean muscle, become ripped, or whatever, right? And this has become, it's time to wake up. Fitness entrepreneurs have to wake up and say that we are probably all doing the same thing. Okay, and this is something today, in today's day and age, everybody understands this. I'm not saying never mention this on your marketing page, but everybody understands this. So stop doing that. Stop doing generic things that your audience are probably more sophisticated to hear, right? So that's number one step. uh, Second thing is, ask people why they are with you than any other thing. Let's face it, there is a billion different options, okay, 1,000 different options. Billion is a bit over exaggerated, but there are 1,000 options, literally, for somebody to get fit online. There's just loads of courses and uh, YouTube videos and free material and paid material and gyms all around trying to contact me. So there are literally thousands of options. And why would somebody be with your company, and why would they be fans, right? Why do they do that? And don't do it as why are you with us, more like just ask them, uh, why do you prefer, like keep it like kind of low key, right? And that will make them really sell you from their perspective. It's almost like a third person asking them, why are you going to these, why are you doing this for fitness, why don't you try CrossFit or take a Zumba class or something else, why do you prefer certain things? And then what happens when you notice them speak is that they use a lot of emotional words rather than the logical words you talk about. They use words, they don't say, because I got fitness. Of course, everybody will say because it works for me. But at the same time, they use a lot of emotional words about how it makes them feel, how it has made them feel. This is key because every business has a different emotional flair. And that's what your brand is. And unless you understand these words on a really mechanical level, if you're somebody with absolutely no empathy to see this, or if you're completely biased in your head, I suggest tape the entire conversation, right? Just tell them up front, open your audio recorder and put it in front and say, we're just doing this for a survey purpose, right? And tape the entire conversation and see how it goes, so that at least you can go back and probably transcribe it and go through the words. There is a very important reason why I'm saying this. Okay. So once you do this with a few set of customers, what you will notice is that you'll start seeing patterns emerge. Patterns that might seem like they're not important, right? Like the kind of words they use on how they feel and what happens. And I'm going to add a few more questions. Rather than making it about your brand or business, make it about the specific activity itself. So for example, if you're a dance based fitness, rather than saying why are you with us than doing something else, you ask, why do you like doing Zumba over some other form of weight training or something else? Now they'll give you some answers that again you might think is common to all Zumba classes, but it's really not, because they have not taken every single Zumba class in the planet. They have taken only a few Zumba classes, probably, and tried one or two before yours, and they come to you, and their whole worldview of what Zumba is primarily anchored towards the experiences that they have in your fitness center or while doing your programs, right? This is key in understanding questions, because you might think this is not about my business, but actually it is, because their whole world of what that word means to them is primarily surrounded around the experiences that they have in your business, right? So I've already covered a few very important steps, and this is how exactly you research. There are a few other steps that will just naturally sort itself out when you just hire an external researcher or an agency or a consultant and just connect them to your audience. If possible, if you have a Facebook group, you can even run it as a forum, open forum post, and get them to engage. And this will work only if you have fans who are willing to jump in and have a conversation with you. And if you have built a culture where you have been interactive on the internet and you have been replying to comments, that you have a community. And probably not all of you have this, but if you have, that's a great place to because people just type words over there, and sometimes when you ask open-ended questions, you'll be amazed to see how much people reveal in those answers, right? So some really bizarre things start coming up because people will be very specific about certain things. So for example, one of the businesses that we helped out was a dance-based, ballet-based fitness, and the members talked about how much they loved reliving those experiences and how they feel when they dance, and the words they used were, I feel so graceful, and it's almost like uh, I'm just in the flow, that I forget about everything else, and I feel like I'm just in the moment, and I'm going with the flow and things like that. And it's so cool because all we had to do in the next step was use these words on the landing pages, on your emails, on your videos even, so that you magically start attracting people who are attracted to these values, because this is exactly what they want to feel. This is why they're doing it. Just like the book by Simon Sinek that explains why is the magical question that separates great brands and great leaders from average companies and brands that people will just throw away. There's no loyalty in these brands. But when you stand for the why, then people become super loyal to your brand, right? And so, what I'm finally coming here to tell you is that the power of the words is what you've been missing. You've been probably trying all tactics, you've been trying so many multiple uh, methods and funnel designs and funnel structures. So, for example, maybe you're running a webinar funnel, you're running email marketing funnels, you've tried 15 different guides, and maybe you had ads running. But what really is going on is that the message you're putting out in any of these forms is completely flying over the head of your potential customers. Even if you put your company in front of them, they haven't gone through the experience of working with you. And unless you capture the core of how they feel when they are working with you, especially your successful customers, and put it on the page. And you can do this only in two ways: one is photographs, videos, and three ways: text. And text is the most important thing. Text is the most important thing that's going to connect with these people. And if you're probably at this point, you also haven't realized the importance of copywriting. So copywriting is one of those skills, or I would like to call it black magic, where it's the art of writing words that make money. And copywriting is not just one way, right? Copywriting has to be tweaked according to different audience. So according to your audience, your customers, a copywriter has to do the research, talk to them, and then reframe everything about your brand, how they talk, what's the brand tone and voice and everything. And then the entire marketing activity, you start seeing there's a big shift. And then that's when you have realized that, oh my god, okay, this is what I've been missing all my life. And so I hope that was useful, right? So go back to your worksheet, either hire somebody who's a third person, third party, and start interviewing your customers, or do it yourself, but do it the right way. Do it, ask questions that are open ended, ask questions that are not, for a lack of a better word, don't be so keen and fixated on trying to figure out how to make your members more, because that's kind of what is preventing you from getting it, because you're so fixated on making it work that what a consultant will do is just have a casual chat and just try to understand the customers, because the consultant is again coming in with the pre-filled knowledge that understanding the customers is the key to increase the business marketing effectiveness. So this is key in understanding that. Uh, and when you are in a business and when you're in the stress or the motivation to just like, I'm frustrated, I need to grow more, I just need to go higher, and I just want to know that. And you probably sometimes you're so full of yourself. That happens to all of us. It's not a bad thing, including me. We are all, at the end of the day, we are all humans. We all have egos, and sometimes we are so consumed with what we do and what our goals are that it's so hard for us to step back. Right? Okay, next. Now that we have done this, we've talked to your customers, you've done the research, you have collected the core of what your customers want, and then you've started sprinkling your pages. And then what happens is, after this, it's all tactical, right? If you have a Facebook pixel installed, make sure the pixel is able to track activities from your most successful customers, and use that pixel to build a lookalike audience or create a custom audience, whatever, and set up remarketing, set up a lookalike audience, and start targeting more members like that. And start running lead magnets. One of the most easiest lead magnets for online fitness brands is to create a free trial, right? Now, there is a way to do a free trial without having to spend any, uh, or lack of better word, without spending a considerable budget, right? Because usually when people think of free trials, they're probably thinking, no, probably my software doesn't let me do it, or maybe you'll occur a lot of cost to set up a free trial. But indeed, what happens is, when you set up a free trial like that, what you're doing is you're putting a lot of hoops to your customers, so that they have to jump through all of that, and finally it becomes like, this is not what I want, or they just drop off. But the simplest form of free trial, the most easiest, what we can learn from a lot of marketing gurus out there who are helping out people, is that set up an email based free trial. So they don't have to give you credit cards. They don't have to uh, they don't have to give you any more details except probably their first name or the full name and their email address, and they have to double confirm. So that's a good thing you do, because once they double confirm, that's the way you're making them jump through a few hoops, right? Taking out a credit card and putting out for a trial is not is not uh, is not effective enough, especially in this day and age when you know that there are just way too many options. Unless you are somebody who produces the best marketing, or you're producing something so unique and so famous that you don't care that you have a lot of traffic, and you're like, okay, let me just put a credit card and let me get people. Unless you're doing that, I suggest that keep it simple, and just don't let people don't expect people to put in their credit card to start a trial. Keep it simple. Deliver the lessons on email. And now the second thing most of you do is, when you have a free trial, you probably have a barrage of videos in your library, and then you go, oh my god, just send them to that free trial. And problem is that when somebody comes to you, they need to quickly start developing a habit, right? And when a habit has to be developed, there are a few key components. The first step is that they have to take action, and for them to take action, there have to be strong, straightforward, streamlined instructions. Do not give them any choices. This is contrary to probably what you're believing, because online fitness brands often, they have a library of videos, and then they're like, just throw everything at them, because more videos are usually more valuable. But from our experience, we have found that the experience is completely the opposite. How so? uh, we just set up one email with one video each, just saying day one do this, day two do this, day three do this, and you'll be surprised how much the engagement has increased. It's almost like I go to a group fitness gym, and I don't care. They don't ask me, do you want to work out this, do you want to work out that? No, I just have to go to my class, that whatever I'm taking. I take strength and conditioning. On that day, what's happening? Today is lower body. Okay, let me just go and do that. And they have it on multiple days, and that takes away everything. All I have to do is stand, look at the instructor, and start doing. I don't have to worry about, am I doing the right thing, am I doing lower, am I doing higher? All these questions, none of that comes to my head, and that takes away the burden of choices. Contrary to what we believe, there have been studies done. There is a whole TED talk on this topic about choices and how they paralyze us. So you should just take all of that away and just give them one thing to do on a day. And do this for 14 days. Sometimes you can just repeat 7 videos and make them do for 2 weeks with just text changing. And this whole sequence of funnel doesn't cost as much as when you want to set up a credit card and login systems and uh, delivering videos and things like that. And some of you might be paranoid about privacy or piracy. Sorry. For you, I would say, first of all, I would like to say that 7 videos, if you're not willing to put out, then it's not a good way to think about it. You have to give something away for free so that people realize how good you are, get a sample of what you are, and it's just a general principle of the universe. You give more to receive. That's just what I believe. And if you're really like, no, 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 I can't do that, which is what our clients did. So we had to set up something called a scarcity timer. You can do this with a bunch of ways, where which is basically you use a plugin called Thrive Ultimatum, and then you link it with your email software, so that every time they open, there'll be a timer that starts custom for each email and each user. It can't be reset or hacked. So it starts from 14 days, and every day they log in, they see that the 14-day trial is going down. And they know that at the end of 14 days, it's probably 1 day, 2 day, and there's always a button that says buy full membership. Uh, it's very effective to put a countdown timer in front of their eyes that keeps going down, because they know that there is something that's scarce, right? Scarce, not scarce. Something that's scarce and that's going to go away, because this whole experience is going to last only 14 days. and they've been enjoying it. There's been very streamlined instructions. If you're doing it well, probably you have comments on each page. By the way, you have to send them emails, and from the email you have to send them to landing pages, if I didn't explain that. So this is the entire pipeline, funnel, and the methodology to start generating more and more and more members for your online fitness brands, and this works big time. Thank you for listening. If you want online fitness marketing services and how we can help you increase your members, please contact us at www.beam7.com. Thank you.